Then again, in the next year, the water table starts to rise. So why is it so that in the summer season, the water table goes down, while in the rainy season or in the winter season, water level restores? Why is it so, guys?
Because like
Hmm.
when the rain comes, it seeps into the ground and fill.
Exactly. Also, in the summers, there is more consumption of water and more evaporation of water as well, right?
Yes,
And that
sir.
is also the reason why the water table goes down, right? Now, guys, tell me, where does the water come into the groundwater? What is the source of water there? Hmm?
What, sir?
What is the source of groundwater? I mean to say that
So
where
in the
does what
sense,
where does water come in the groundwater? Where does the water come?
So to the earth, like under the ground.
Mhm. In the underground water, where does water basically how does water reaches the underground? Via what
infiltration.
process? Infiltration or percolation. So infiltration or percolation is the slipping of water via the gaps present between the soil and rock particles, right? And that water either might get stored between the layer of soil and impervious rock, or between the cracks present in the rocks, right? Now, okay. Also, guys, do tell me, which day is celebrated as World Day? I would give you a hint. It's in the month of March.
The 22nd of
22nd of March.
the,
Good.
but I think you said World Day.
World Water Day.
Yeah,
World
you
Water Day.
said World Day.
22nd March is celebrated as the World Water Day.
Okay. World Water Day. That is 22nd of March.
Yeah, and you said World Day.
Okay. And then you see, the year 2003, it has been called as the International Year of Freshwater.
Fresh water.
International Year of Freshwater, to raise awareness among the people about the importance of water as a resource. Getting it now? And why the level of and why the water, which is basically a renewable resource,
So
we
I,
consider
I
it
want
to
to
be renewable
ask that
resource.
you also said like in the class of this chapter you said 2023 is also the
Yeah,
fresh.
that was wrong actually. Okay, now it was not the year 2003. It was actually 2003, not 2023. Okay, now.
Yes.
So correct that. This is the correct figure. So that year has been called as the International Year of Fresh Water, to bring awareness
Okay, sir.
regarding the conservation of water. Coming back to the topic, basically in the season of January, in the rainy season, in the month of January, or in the rainy season or winter season, if there is precipitation, okay. So in the rainy season, there is precipitation, due to which the groundwater recharges. So thereby water table comes upward, height of water table increases. And in the case of summer season, okay, in the month of June, July, thereby you have the summer season, due to which evaporation of water takes place, more evaporation of water takes place, thereby the water table goes down. And the cycle continues. So as the year goes on, you can see the rise and fall of the water table via the diagrammatic representation here. Getting it now? Now, in the previous class, we were talking about water management. So water management is basically what? It's the effective planning, distribution, and use of water resources. Getting it now? So it is nothing but the effective planning, distribution, and use of water resources. Some of the ways in which we are managing the water are as follows, like the rainwater harvesting or water harvesting. Thereby, what we are doing, we are recharging the level of groundwater in that process, right? Then you have got the drip irrigation and bodies. Okay, I will add two more here. Okay, I will add two more here. One is sewage treatment plant, and the another one is gray water. the two terms are new and you won't find that in your books. But still, those are the important concepts I would like to discuss in the class. Okay. So in the previous class, we talked about the rainwater harvesting system. So this is how a rainwater harvesting treatment plant, a rainwater harvesting setup works like this. The water that is slipping off the roof is collected in a tank. Okay. So you can see there are separate tanks here. There are separate tanks here. So here you can see the water collected in this tank is being used for gardening purposes. In the another case, it is being directly stored into the underground tank. Okay. And thereby water seeps into the ground. It percolates into the ground. Then here you can see some of the water is being used to wash the car. Then again for gardening purposes, water can be used. Then we get to know that Bowries were also there. So Bowries were what? These were basically traditional setups in India, especially where rainwater was basically stored and not allowed to percolate into the ground. So especially in the regions where there is a
So,
scarcity of water. Yes.
so these Bowries are built in like temples, right?
Not necessarily temples. It's not necessary that it. Yeah, they have been found in temples also, but that is not very necessary. Okay.
Okay,
Even
sir.
even in the kings and rulers fortresses, the bodies were especially built in order to store the water to be used throughout the year. Because generally in places like Rajasthan, there is a very it receives the least amount of rainfall in the year right now. So thereby people, especially rulers, were especially building these bodies in order to store the rainwater. So these are these were also called as step wells. Step wells because there were steps running down the well. Okay. So this greenish thing which you see here, that is nothing but the water here. Okay now. But nowadays it declined. Okay. With the coming of the motor pumps, okay, the use of bodies were discouraged, but now again it has been encouraged. So the old bodies are now being revived. Okay, and they are now again being used. Getting it now? So that is
Yes,
all
sir.
about bodies. Okay. Then another way of water management is the drip irrigation. So here you can see that in the case of drip irrigation, water is directly provided drop by drop at the base of the plant, basically to the root of the plant, right? So you basically place tubes, okay, which have got emitters or which have got holes made in them. Okay. So the water is being directly provided at the base. Here you can see what is falling at the base of the plant. So you see, basically water is required by the root system of the plant, not the shoot system. The shoot system does not require water, right? So why just pour water all over the plant? It's better to just provide water to the base of the plant. Getting it now? So thereby productivity also increases and water is also conserved here. So in which states or in which places we should be doing this method of irrigation? Hmm?
So the places where there's most water scarcity.
Where there is scarcity of water. Getting it now? Very good. Okay. So here you see nowadays farmers are shifting to this method, especially farmers who are doing farming in places like Rajasthan. Okay now. So this technique is being used by them to water their fields. Okay. So in this we basically saw that water is basically solely allowed to drip into the plant so that the water directly gets into the roots of the plant, right? Also you get to see now what other benefits we have, like it minimizes evaporation also, right? Now it minimizes evaporation. Okay. So if you were to plant pour water all over the plant, basically most of the water will be evaporating, right? So it minimizes evaporation, thereby it saves water. Okay. And also allows the nutrient to reach the plant easily. The nutrients are what nutrients I'm talking about? Mhm. Plants also require different types of nutrients now.
Yes, sir. Like especially nitrogen.
Especially nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium,
CO2.
CO2. Okay. So some of the minerals plants gets from water also. Like water consists of minerals and salts, right? So those minerals and salts present in the water, that also reaches the plant easily in this manner. So nutrition is also provided to the plant in an effective manner. So that is all about drip irrigation method. But then what about the water that is coming from our homes, right? The water, the impure water that comes from our homes, from the industries, from the offices. What happens to that water? Shouldn't those that water also be treated, guys? Yes.
Yes, sir. They'll be filtered.
Yes, sir.
That water should also be filtered. Okay. So before that, let's get to know about some of the important terms. Okay. Like what is sewage? Sewage is what? It's simply the liquid waste which has water as its largest component, along with various types of impurities present in it. So the water that flows in the drain, the black water that you see flowing in the drain, that is basically sewage. Okay. And there's a variety of impurities present in that. What types of impurities are there? There are both dead and alive impurities present in them. Living and non-living impurities are present in it. So the living impurities are called as organic impurities, or the impurities that comes from human beings or the plants or the animals. So, so the impurities that are coming from plants or animals. Okay, so that are called as organic impurities. For example, human feces, animal waste, oil, urea or urine, pesticides, herbicides, fruits and vegetables. These are all organic waste coming from plants and animal sources. Getting it now? Okay. And on them, what feeds? Basically, microbes or microorganisms are feeding on that. Right? Then you see, inorganic impurities are also present in the sewage. Are you guys getting it now? You guys getting it?
Yes,
Like
sir.
nitrates, phosphates, or metals. These are the inorganic impurities that comes from dead substances, dead sources. The nutrients are also there in the sewage, that is phosphorus, nitrogen. Different types of bacteria feeds upon the organic impurities and the nutrients. Then large variety of disease causing microorganisms are also found in the sewage that can be causing diarrhea, jaundice, etc. Right? So the water that flows in the drain, it has got this much of impurities in it right now. Okay. Then usually the fall smell that comes from the drain. What is it that fall smell which comes from the drain? It is basically the gases emitting out of that. The toxic gases that is coming out of all these impurities, that is basically giving a fall smell. Then another term is sewers here. Sewers are what? These are basically the pipes which carries these wastewater, which carries the wastewater.
Sir, can I
That is
leave and
sewers.
join?
Okay, okay, no issue. But be quick. No,
So I
but
can't hear you. Can you say again?
yeah, be
Can
quick.
I leave and join?
Yeah, but be quick.
Uh,
Okay,
I
and
can't hear
usually,
you. So just wait.
okay, okay. So the next thing is now sewerage. So sewerage is what? Usually in the towns, there is an underground network of pipelines in which wastewater flows, right now. So that network of sewers has been called as sewerage, right? And at many places that sewerage is open. Yes. And that place, the places where it is open, that is called as manhole. Usually in every town, you get to see that there's a network of underground pipelines in which the wastewater from our homes, from offices, from industries are flowing. And at certain places it is open. There's a lid. There's a lid. Okay, now you guys must have seen it while walking on the road. You guys must have seen it. The manhole. So these are holes made in sewers at frequent intervals so that timely inspections and cleaning of sewers can be done through them. So the reason why these holes has been called as manhole, because it's the man that goes inside this hole in order to inspect the holes, check whether any substance is clogging the hole, clogging the sewer, and then cleans it. That's why the name manhole. Getting it, guys? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you explain again?
Basically,
Sir,
you see,
are you
yes,
sharing the screen?
yeah, I have been
I
sharing the
can't see
screen.
the screens.
Guys, is my screen visible to you?
I think it's not visible for me only, sir.
Sir, it's visible.
It's visible. Vaiga, it's visible or not?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay.
For me, it's not visible, ma'am.
Okay. Do one thing, no, Sundus. Please try to join again or try to join with a different ID. Okay. If you have got a different ID, please join from that. There might be some
I
issue.
don't have it, but I will try.
Okay. So I was basically saying, Chakrika, no. Usually in the towns, in the cities, not in the villages, usually in the towns and cities, you get to see that under there's an underground network of pipelines. Okay. And through that pipeline flows the sewage, flows the wastewater. Sewage is simply the wastewater, right now. And at certain places, there are holes made in these sewers. This pipeline, this network of pipelines, we call it as sewers, SEWERS. And at some places, we make holes in them. Obviously, why will we make holes in them? We won't want, we would not want that wastewater to spill on the road, no? The reason why we have made holes here it's for inspection and regular cleaning of the sewers, right? Because people throw a variety of waste into it. People are throwing a variety of waste into the drain. Okay, the waste could be anything ranging from um, a piece of polythene to a piece of cloth as well. So many times it clogs the pathway of the flow of wastewater in these sewers are clogged. So it needs to be regularly cleaned. Thereby, holes have been made at certain places here. And why these holes are called as manhole? Because basically man goes in there to clean the sewer. Is it clear?
Sir, can you just only explain about the sewers? I'm so sorry, sir.
No issue, no issue. Look, sewers is what? It's simply the pipes which carry the wastewater. It's nothing but it's just a huge pipe. Okay. If there's like construction work going on the roadside, you might have seen it. Hmm? They are not the huge pipes like this in which the wastewater is basically flowing. Like drains are open also. Like usually, if you were to go to a place which is not very well developed, there you will find that the drains are open. Yes, Vaiga, Chakrika, drains are open also. But in the developed cities, you have got sewers,
Yes, sir.
the pipes which carries the wastewater, and those pipes are underground, under the road. They are just beneath the road. Getting it now? So that is just sewers,
Okay, sir.
and there's a network of sewers spread in the city. Okay now.
Okay, sir.
All right then. Now look here.
Sir, can you
Then
explain
what
again?
happens? Okay, look here. Basically, what we have been discussing here now, we have been discussing about sewage, the wastewater that comes from our homes, from offices, and from other places. Okay, that contains a variety of impurities in it. It could be anything ranging from human feces, animal waste, to various types of nutrients and bacteria in it as well, right? And that sewage, simply the wastewater, it flows from pipes. It flows in the pipes, and that pipes we are calling as sewers. And there's a network of sewers that is spread in the area, in the cities, in the towns. And these pipelines are underground. They are beneath the road right now. And at various places you have got holes in them. You might have seen the lids like this actually. You guys might have seen this, the lids. Okay, and it is at regular time period, at regular time it is open and a man enters into it in order to clean it. That is all about it. Now the thing which basically I'm trying here to explain is about sewage treatment plant. Sewage treatment plant, it's just a small topic here. The wastewater that comes out from our houses, from offices, and from industries, basically what happens now? All that water, all that wastewater that is coming from this office building, or from our home, from your home, okay, that goes to the sewage treatment plant. Where does it goes, guys? It goes to a
Sewage treatment.
sewage treatment plant. Okay, so first, what will happen? It will go to a storage container like this. All that water will go there. Okay, now look at this diagram. That will give you a better representation. Okay, better view. So from the waste that is coming from the homes, office, and industries, it goes to this sewage treatment plant where it first passes from a bar screen. So thereby, okay, thereby impurities of larger size are separated here. Okay, now then it goes to another tank where it is allowed to settle for for few hours, because still there are some impurities which were not able to be, which we were not able to stop here, which is still passed from this bar screen. So thereby we allowed that waste to settle down. Is
So,
it clear
sir,
so
that
far?
is in the grid tank, like
Hmm.
the larger particles that got above, like
Mhm.
they left like the bar screen and not. So it will sit in like that grid tank, and then the water will be like separated from that.
Yeah, look here. The larger size waste materials that are stopped here, that are stuck here, okay, so they are collected and they are then recycled, okay, depending upon their properties. And then the water that passes across this barred screen, it is still comprises of certain impurities in it, which were not able to be, which we were not able to stop here. So then what we will do now? We will simply allow that water to rest in a tank. You guys, you all know about sedimentation, the process of sedimentation, right now? Where basically water was being allowed to rest for a while, thereby all the impurities were settling at the bottom, right now. So look at this settling tank here. If you were to look here, this blue color shows water. This brown color shows what? It shows sand, soil, etc. Okay. And this yellow color shows what? It shows oil, fat particles. Getting it? Are you guys getting it, or is it being confusing?
Yeah,
It's very
we are
simple. बहुत ही simple है.
Sir, the settling tank, it's like sedimentation, right?
It's simply the process of sedimentation. Exactly. That is
Okay, sir.
sedimentation what we're doing here. So sand and soil being the heavier particles, it will settle to the bottom of this tank, and oils and fat particles will float here. Getting it? Okay. Then what is basically done now? This oil and fat particles which are floating over here, they are separated. They are what? Done. What do we do here? They are basically separated. Getting it? So you will be separating it into another separate tank. Then whatever water is left there, it is sent to the another tank, that is aeration tank. What happens in there? Basically bacteria are killed here as well. Simply इसमें जो
just
bacteria हो.
like after the settling tank, the water will we just did, right?
Exactly. What we will do now, you guys know about decantation now. Basically, slowly pouring the water from a sedimentation tank to another clean tank.
So they
That
will
is a
pour it.
sedimentation.
So they will
Hmm.
pour it in that tank.
Exactly, not manually. It will be taken up by the pipes. Okay. So the oil first it will be taken out into a separate tank, and that the oil and fat particles present in it will go to this tank here. Okay, where it will be converted into manures.
So there will
Oil
be
and
two
fat.
pipes. So
Yeah, there will be two parts here. The oil and fat particles that accumulates above the water, it will be taken into a separate tank. Okay, and that tank has been called as a digester, because oil and fat particles, these are organic compounds, now organic substances. These are the organic substances. Getting it? Or is it being confusing again? Huh?
yes,
Clear to everyone, Chakrika, Vaiga?
yes.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
So oil and fat particles are taken out into a separate tank where microorganisms eat them and then convert them into manure. Manure, that is clear what is manure, right? Then this water that is taken into another tank. There also bacteria are being killed here. Getting it now? Right? Then it is sent to another tank that is called as clarifier. Then finally, this water is being treated with UV rays and chlorine. Okay. This water here present in this tank, it is being treated with ultraviolet rays and chlorine. Getting it? Then this water is now good to be used. Not for the purpose of drinking, but for other purposes, especially. So the tap water that
So
comes from the
can you repeat
municipality,
again?
look here,
What did you
from here, from aeration tank, from here.
from the clarifier?
Okay, look here. The water that comes from the sedimentation tank into the aeration tank. Here the bacteria, whatever bacteria are present in it, that is being killed. Okay. Then it goes to another tank where the water is being treated with ultraviolet rays. You guys know what is ultraviolet rays now?
Yes, sir.
UV rays. Okay. Also, we add chlorine in it so that if there is any left impurities in it, that is also killed. Then finally, the water is ready to be
Sir,
used. Yeah.
sir, as this chlorine mixed, that's why we can't drink the water, right?
Usually, the tap water that comes into to our houses now from the municipality. Okay, it has got a distinct taste of it. It has got a unique taste, and that taste is of the chlorine. Okay, thereby that water is not very fit to drink. Okay, if the person drinks,
So we
she
basically
will
use
not.
it just to.
Hmm. Just to clean, just to wash the
Yes, sir, continue.
just for the purpose of washing and cleaning, it can be used. Okay, yes, even if the person were to drink that, he will not most probably fall sick, but that water is basically not used for the purpose of drinking. Getting it now? So in this manner,
Okay,
look
sir.
here, the water was coming from our homes, from offices and industry. That was basically sewage, that was impure water, right? Okay. And then when it reached the sewage treatment plant, it went through various stages and thereby it became purified and now fit for variety of purposes other than drinking. Getting it now? And if you were to talk about this digester tank, remember the oil and fat particles which accumulated in the sedimentation tank? So here what happens basically now in the digester tank, that waste is now being converted into a manure, and here you can see it is being used for either agriculture purposes or it can be used for landfill purposes also. Getting it now? Or it can be used
So can you
as a
explain
fuel
again the
also.
part from digester?
From here now, from digester. Okay, look here, whatever organic waste is present there, whatever organic waste is present there, okay, it is being sent to the digester. Thereby, bacteria start eating them. Okay. It's not just like one digester, there are several digesters. Usually in the sewage treatment plant, you have got different types of digesters depending upon the type of waste. And those digesters basically convert them into a more reduced form, into a decomposed form. So then that it can either be used as a manure in agriculture, or it can either be used as a fuel to burn in industries, or it can either
So
be used to
like
fill
where we
landfill.
I
Yeah,
have my like
yeah, Sundus. Yeah, Sundus, you were saying something. Hello. Okay, shall I continue then? Continue then.
Sir,
Hmm.
so incineration is just burning of fuel
Yeah, this
or
incineration,
making up fuel?
making of fuel, incineration. I'm not entirely sure about that, but the thing is, now this organic waste that is sent to the digester. Okay, thereby it might either be converted into manure so that it can be used in the purpose of agriculture, in the farming purposes, right? And the organic waste can also be converted into fuel, and that fuel can also be used in the industries as a fuel as well. That is the thing here. Okay, you have
Okay,
got
sir, I get.
various plants like especially in Delhi, you will see there's a plant there which basically converts the waste material into electricity. Waste, the solid waste that comes from the houses, not the liquid waste. Okay, not the sewage. I'm talking about the solid waste. That waste is being converted into electricity. How? Those waste are basically being burned and thereby being converted into electricity. Getting it now? So that was all about sewage treatment plant. Okay. So in this manner also we can manage the wastewater. Wastewater, not the pure water. We are talking about wastewater here. Then you have got another interesting method. Although this is not part of your syllabus, but still I would like to discuss few points regarding this. Okay. Now, usually this is a very recently developed method. Okay. Usually water is of two types now. Water two types के होते हैं. Like you have got the gray water and the black water. What I'm talking about? Usually water is of two types. One is the gray water, and the another one here, it's the black water. So the water that is flowing in the drains, that is water that is flowing in the sewers, that is what? That is basically black in color now. Yeah. Look, water that flows in the sewer. What is the color of that water? Black, obviously. That is black in color, right? Then what is this gray water now?
Sir, the water which flows in the seas.
No, not the water that flows in the sea. Look here. The gray
No, sir,
water
what did you
basically,
ask? Like, I'm asking
I'm
what did you
asking,
ask?
okay. My question is that black water is simply the water that flows in the sewers, that flows in the drains. Then what is this gray water? Gray water is nothing but the domestic wastewater, water that is wastewater that is coming from our houses, from offices. But the thing is that it should not consist of fecal contamination, that is the human waste or the animal waste. Okay. So those wastewater that is coming from our houses, which does not consist of fecal matter in it, fecal waste in it, that what is called as gray water. It might consist of
Okay, sir.
all the impurities, but it should not have fecal contamination in it. That is all streams, meaning all types of water except for the wastewater from toilets. So this is basically gray water. Getting it now? So it includes like the water that comes from the sinks, from the showers, from the baths, or from the washing machine or dishwashers. Right now. So that is basically gray water. Right. So The thing is now, in the black water, if I were to talk about black water, hmm, and if I were to talk about gray water, in the black waters, the number of impurities are more. The number of impurities are more. And what types of impurities are present in the black water? Usually in the seawater, what type of impurities? Few moments ago, I have told them. Yes, just moments.
Organic
Go.
and organic waste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, organic waste is there. Inorganic waste is there. Various types of minerals, nutrients are present in that. So organic waste is there. Inorganic waste is there. In short, I'm writing it. Okay, now don't get confused. So we know that bacteria will feed up on the organic waste, right? Bacteria will eat the organic waste. Bacteria will feed upon the dead rat, dead animals, right now. But if you were to talk about the source, guys, is it clear or not?
It's
What we are
clear.
discussing, you guys are getting it, no? Okay then. If you were to talk about gray water,
Sir, can you explain the black water again?
look here. Black water is nothing but the water that flows in the seawards, and that consists of organic waste, inorganic waste. It consists of human fecal matter also, human waste plus animal waste also, right? And we
Okay, sir.
talked about gray water. Gray water does not consist of animal or human waste. Okay. The sources of the gray water were what? The water that comes, wastewater that comes from the sink, from what? From the washing machines,
Dishwasher.
dishwasher, from after the bath, the water, um, the bath water. All those are examples of gray water. And if you were to compare them now, the number of bacteria present in black water is more than the number of bacteria present in the gray water. Yeah, because
Yes,
Yes, sir.
basically in
sir.
gray water, inorganic substances are present now, basically, right? While the bacteria, will the bacteria eat the plastics? There are exceptions, like scientists few years ago have developed certain bacteria which can eat plastics. We are not going there. Okay, now in general, will bacteria eat the plastics? Will the bacteria eat the polythenes? No, it will feed upon the dead. It will feed upon the organic waste, now, right? It will feed upon the rotten vegetables, rotten meat. All these things are the food of bacteria. So thereby, we see that gray water are lesser harmful because they do not consist of that much bacteria. It has got lesser bacteria in it. Right now, look here. So how this gray water treatment works? We treat this gray water treatment. How do we do that? It's simple. You have basically got a filter like this. You can see different layers of filters in it of different colors: black, green, blue. Yeah, see this? This is a filter. So the water that comes from the sink, from the bathtubs, from the washing machines, it is being collected. Then the first method is it is collected. Then it is being passed through this filter, right? So as the gray water passes across this filter, there's a filtration occurring in succession. One after another layer filters the gray water. Yes, yeah. Huh? Chakrika, Sundus Vaiga,
Yes,
getting it
sir.
now?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
is it like something we should
Mhm.
keep it in like our houses, or is it being
Exactly.
sent into the factories?
No, no, no. It's not. It is something that should be installed at a domestic level. It should be installed at every houses right now.
Okay, sir.
Getting it now? Now, the interesting thing about this purifier here is that it does not uses any chemical. It does not uses any chemical. Thereby doing what? Thereby reducing the usage of chemical. Getting now? So it's up. It's what? It's like what do we call that? It's that method, I mean to say. Nature free, we can say, right now. It does not causes any harm to the nature, right? Since it does not involves use of chemical. So all the impurities will be stored back and the water will flow across it. Now this water that comes after filtration from this purifier, for what purposes we can use that? We can use that for irrigation purposes. Okay, now not for drinking, right? Not for drinking or not for cleaning our clothes. This can be used for what? For gardening purposes, for irrigation purposes.
Sir,
So
only
that is the
irrigation, right?
So,
yeah,
sir, so it will leave.
especially irrigation
So it
only.
will, or like leave it in the soil, and then the trees will absorb it.
Yeah, exactly,
Like that.
exactly. Basically, the water that comes out of it, you basically use that to water the plants, water the gardens, or in fact, it can be used to water the crops as well, right? It can be used for other purposes also. Like you cannot use it to wash the clothes, but to wash other things, it can be used, right? So that is all about gray water treatment. Now, this was not in your syllabus, by the way, but still, it's a new and innovative technology one needs to be aware of. Okay, all right then. Now the question is that we have talked so much about water, but what is the origin of this water now? Hmm? Where the water came from? Looking from the images here, what do you think? What celestial bodies are these? Hmm?
That's a matter, right?
The meteorites.
Meteorites. These are the celestial bodies that falls on the earth. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the thing is that the origin of water is found to be from a type of meteorite. Hmm. Imagine how much of meteorites it must have been that hit the planet Earth, thereby the Earth consisted of water then. Hmm. Basically, it is being said that when the Big Bang theory occurred, when it happened, one theory is that the the gaseous particles, which condensed together to form the planet, it consisted of water. Another theory says that it was initially a gaseous or a rocky planet, and later on it was hit by the meteoroids. These meteoroids consisted of water molecules in it. Okay, and thereby in this manner, water came to be on Earth. Okay, so several theories are that the accepted one is that the origin of water is found to be from a type of meteorite that hit the Earth. Getting it now? Okay, and
So,
the
but then it is
Mhm.
said that the meteorites are like a powerful source of heat. So when they hit the
Mm,
ground, it burns a huge amount of land, right?
exactly, exactly. It is said that
So how can
when
water
it
be
comes,
produced from
Mm.
like
the
meteorites?
the thing is now, okay, if you were to talk about the geological time scale of the Earth, you know, if we were to talk about the geological time scale of the Earth, we have divided time into what? Eons. We have divided the times into eons. Like you have got the Archean eon, okay. You have got the Hadean eon. Now, what are these? Just like you have got calendars to measure the time scale of revolution of Earth. In the same manner, if I were to talk about time on a larger scale, getting it now? So, 540 million years ago, 540 million years ago, it is being said that all the continents of the earth were a joint entity. All the continents that you see today, all of them were joined together and form a huge continent called as Pangaea. Called
Yes,
as
sir.
Pangaea. Right. So at that time now, we saw that we saw that um, Earth was basically a frozen planet. Okay. Earth
Yes,
was
sir.
basically a frozen planet. Getting it now. Also, if you were to see the map of India right now, at that time, if you were to see, it was completely different. it was basically joined with other continents. Earlier, you see the continent of you know, you see the countries like Africa or Saudi Arab or India, all of them were joined together. Getting it? Now, coming to your question, you're saying that the meteoroids that hits the earth, when it comes into contact of the earth's surfaces, it experiences friction, thereby becoming hot. So you'd say that the water will evaporate then. I am saying that we are talking in a geological time scale of millions and billions of years ago right now. So there were scenarios were different. Okay, so we don't have a track, or we don't have sufficient data to suggest that in what manner the meteorites hit the earth and in what geological time scale period it really happened. But the the possibility is that meteorites hit the earth, and thereby the water came on earth. Water came on earth in this manner.
So, sir,
Getting it
as
now?
you said that there were as Earth was a frozen planet, so when the meteorites came and hit the Earth,
Mhm.
then the like maybe at that
Before,
time as
before the when I say the frozen, it basically means the water was present at that time. Now, when I say frozen, it means water was present at that time. Getting it
So
now?
the water was present at that time, but
okay,
you
sir,
said
I get
like
it.
it wasn't the meteorite.
I'm saying that when I say frozen earth, it means it consisted of water at that time. So the meteorites must have hit the earth before it was frozen. Now, that is the point I'm trying to make. The meteorites hit the earth way back it was frozen.
So after, so they did
Hmm.
before the frost,
Exactly, obviously. Then how the
and
water
like
come?
the continents broke,
Hmm.
like when like the meteorite hit it, or it was like after it.
How the continents departed from, how the continents separated from each other? Are you talking about that?
Yeah, sir. It's like from the meteorite hitting it, and
Hmm.
then it is joined, or it is separated. Like
No, it's not due to the hitting of the meteorites that the joint continents separated. No, basically, you see, there's a molten magma, molten lava beneath the Earth's crust. You know, Earth's. If you were to talk about the Earth, this is the crust, outermost layer. Then you have got the mantle. Then you have got core. This is crust now. Crust, mantle, and that is the core, right? If I were to talk about the mantle, mantle is a semi-solid layer. Yes, Vaiga and Sundus and Chakrika,
Yes, sir.
that is a
Yes, sir.
semi-liquid layer. Okay, and when I say semi-liquid, it does not mean it flows like water. It it does not mean that it flows like water. It flows, but at a very slow rate. Okay, normally even today, if you were to see, um, a plate moves by few millimeter every year. A plate moves few
So,
millimeter
sir,
every
it's
year.
like the speed of like is it about the speed of
Mhm.
how it flows or like about its
Mhm.
texture?
Look here. Let me clear that point. Okay. Okay. Look at this diagram here. Okay. Look, this is this much is, let's say, an ocean here. Okay, and let's say this blackish region which you see here, let's say that is a what? That is a land mass here. Okay, we all know that the surface of the earth has been divided into different plates, into plates that has been called as tectonic plates, right? So there's the
Yes, sir,
concept of
tectonic plate.
tectonic plates. These tectonic plates are also of two types. One that is the continental plate, okay, and one is the oceanic plate. Yeah, these plates are also of two types. One that is the oceanic plate, and one is that is the continental plate. So this plate here we are seeing, that is the continental plate,
Oceanic.
and
I
there
saw
might be
the
plated
oceanic
like this
plate.
also. Hmm. Suppose this here is oceanic plate, which I'm talking. Oceanic plate, okay.
So, sir, the oceanic plate settles under the water, and then the continental plates settle
Hmm.
like above the water, like from above
Exactly.
the water to below the water, right?
Exactly, because continental plates are more denser than the the oceanic plates are more denser than the continental plates. Thereby, it submerges beneath the continental plate. Getting it now?
Okay, sir, I get it.
Hmm. So basically, what I was trying to explain here, the hot molten magma that flows in the mantle, the second layer of the earth after the crust. Say this is the say this is your mantle here. So in mantle, basically you see hot and molten magma is flowing. Okay, at certain places it might come out. Okay, suppose this magma, this lava here is trying to come out of this vent here, suppose. So thereby what will happen, it will start to try to come from here, thereby creating a crack here, let's suppose, and thereby the plates might drift from each other. In the same manner, what happened, this Pangea which we are talking about, it basically separated from each other because of the drifting of planets, because of the motion of magma beneath it, thereby drifting the continents into different parts. Getting it?
So, sir,
Okay.
that like that magma, whatever that is. So,
Mhm.
it is actually a hot liquid.
Exactly. It's a very thick, hot liquid. That it's the same liquid that you see coming out of the volcanoes. Okay, so that liquid which comes out from the volcano, that is lava. Okay, and when it is more thick, that is called as magma. So when the magmas are, it is in continuous motion. Remember the convection current we have studied earlier?
Yes, sir.
There also convection current develops in the mantle layer. Okay, and due to the convection currents developed there, the plates are moving above it. It's simply like they are floating above it. There's the plates are like floating above the mantle right now. So basically, the ground on which we are standing, it is floating above the layer beneath it, above the mantle. It is floating, but the pace, the speed at which it is floating, it is extremely minute to be observed. Getting it now? So that is what is happening. All the planets present on the Earth are floating. Okay.
Sir, so magma is more dangerous than lava.
In terms of that, if you were to say, if you in that term, if you were to say more dangerous, like what? It can cause more damage to humans. No, it's just a layer. We don't count in terms of danger. Okay, it's just a layer, just like the first layer of the Earth is
So she
crust, then
said
mantle,
denser.
then core. Hmm. In terms of density, we can compare it as it is less denser than the crust. Okay, it is less denser than the crust. Getting it now? Okay, coming back to the question, what was the origin of water? So it is found to be from a type of meteorite. Okay, just it's a possibility that a meteorite hit the earth or several meteorites hit the earth which consisted of water molecules in it, and thereby water came on earth in this manner. Now as we know, if a meteorite comes to the atmosphere, comes in contact with the atmosphere of the Earth, it experiences a frequency and thereby becoming hot. But the thing is that we are talking in terms of millions of years. So millions of years ago, the composition of Earth might have been different, right? At that time, Earth might have been a cold planet, or the phenomena could, or the scenario could have been different right now. Thereby, let's suppose it didn't experience much friction, or the thickness of the Earth's atmosphere might not have been that much, because of which it did not burn in the atmosphere. Several possibilities could be there. Okay. In the next class, we will try to conclude the chapter, and we'll try to study what are the effects of water scarcity on planets. Apart from the humans and animals, how does plant gets affected if there's a water scarcity there? Okay. We read whatever we have discussed so far, and especially